Great. So let's start off with basically importing a design that we have from Canva and making it editable or customizable to the shopper. So for that, let's go ahead and enable the screen share here. Perfect. Let me know if you guys can see my screen all right.
Yeah, looks great.
Awesome. Okay, great. So the product that we're going to see today from ShineOn is the printed acrylic block. This comes in different size variations, and we'll be able to apply our Canva design onto the block that we're seeing here. So going into Canva, we can see that we have this as our base artwork. That is what we want the shoppers to be able to personalize. Now, in this case, what we want the shopper to be able to do is basically change the names, upload their own photos, and pick a date in a calendar and see that reflected or marked as that special date in the design. So basically what we need to do is import this into Customly. We'll bring that in and make these little bits changeable for the shopper. Now, before we go ahead and do that, I just want to make sure that I can see the layers of my design, just so that we know which are the bits that we want to make changeable for the shopper. So as we see here, we have the 3 layers here that are text. So these will remain as text elements. We have this element here, which is the third one starting from the bottom, which is for images. So allowing the shopper to upload their own picture. And then we have the calendar. The reason we're going to keep this in mind is so that we can make these elements changeable for the shopper in Customly. So if we take a look at how the interaction will be for the shopper, basically our focus here or our aim is to have something similar to this, where we have a little button for allowing the shopper to upload their pictures. Here they will be able to adjust it within the area that is assigned for the photo. And then entering text and choosing the date from the calendar. As we see, when we pick a date, we'll be able to see that calendar with the date marked with a little heart in this case. So this is what we want to achieve when we bring this design into Customly, making these bits editable. So let's see how we do this in the Customly backend. Now for this, we're going to go into the Customly app. And what we're going to do is create a new design. So we'll go here, creating one from scratch. And what we're going to do is let's name it. And what we're going to do is import. So right over here on the right, we have import from Canva. And we'll be able to select the design from Canva. Now, what this will do is pick up on the information from the layers. So we want to import all of them, of course, but what we want to make sure is that with the correct functionality. So basically here we have, if we take a look at Canva, those would be these 3 that we see here. As we see, this is inverted, right? So the 3 on the top are the 3 on the bottom that we see here. And then we have this element, which if we refer to the base design that we have here, this is the image placeholder. This is where we want shoppers to upload their pictures. So we're going to make sure that this is in fact an image placeholder. And then this would be the decoration and the calendar. So those will remain as they are. Let's just click on import. And this will bring these layers into my Customly design. So just in case, in the assets that are provided by the girls later on, you will see that the fonts for this design are also there so that you can upload them into the Customly backend. So that here we can see that this brings in from our Canva design the element for the title, the subtitle, and the bits for decoration and photo. So here, as they are, I just want to make sure that I name them correctly so I know which ones they are. And then this one here would be enter names. There we go. And then we see that we have the area for the photo. Okay, so we have the image placeholder, which allows me to upload my picture. That's great. But we want to change two things here. We want to change making sure that this is going to allow us to fill the area. So when the shopper uploads their photo, it populates this squared section nicely. And the other thing that we want to do is upload a mask. In this case, the mask has this sort of rounded corner shape so that it gives it a better look, so that it's not just a very straight angle square. And what we're going to do is, once that we have the area for the names and the area for the photo, the third thing that we want to do is make sure that this calendar isn't a fixed image, but is in fact a calendar that allows the shopper to pick their own date. So for this, we'll see that Customly has a feature called calendar. When I click on it, it basically generates a calendar. So what we want to do here is make sure that it fills out the area of our design here, something like this. And this layer that we had before, which was that original picture of a calendar, I don't want it, right? I just want to have the customly changeable calendar. So we'll just go ahead and delete this layer. So we've made the names changeable. We've made the area for a photo changeable as well. And we've also added the calendar so that shoppers can pick a date. Just to let you guys know, the calendar is something that you can edit as well. So here you can see that you can assign any fonts that you want. You can change the color for this. So you can always make sure that it adjusts to the style that you envision for your shoppers. For now, we're going to keep it as it is here. And we're going to go ahead and save this design so that we can apply it to this acrylic block that we were seeing from ShineOn. Please let me know, guys, if any questions pop up in the chat so that we can go over those. All right. So now let's connect our design with our product. So I'm going to pick ShineOn, and we're going to pick this latest product here, which is the acrylic block, this one here. Perfect. And in this case, the size that I want, I'm going to pick the 7 by 5, 5.25, and add a design to the print area. Now the design that I'll pick is the one that we just created, our first Christmas. And here I will be able to adjust it on the printable area. There we go, perfect. And let's go ahead and confirm so that we can go to the next step, which is, in this case, choosing where I want this to be published. If I have an Etsy and a Shopify, I can choose where I want my ShineOn listing to be published. And what this is going to do is pick up the information from our design. So what was the customization, allowing them to upload their photos, pick a date, so on and so forth. And then the parameters from ShineOn. How does the print file need to be? What is the mockup for this? So making sure that everything is tied together. Once that this loads that information, we'll be able to see basically how the different elements for interaction are coming in. So if we take a look at this, we'll be able to see that we can, in fact, upload our photo. It fits out that area nicely. There we go. So if we enter our names, and these were the two fields that we had for text, right? Our first Christmas and Mr. and Mrs. Those were the title and subtitle. But here we can see that they are, in fact, changeable. Now, in this case, we don't want that to be something that the shoppers will edit. We want it to be fixed. So there are a couple of things that we can do here to modify the behavior for the shopper and basically hide these elements for them, making sure that they see the title already there and the subtitle already there, but they can't modify that. So for that, we're going to go into Edit Options. Now, options refer to basically these fields of customization that we see here, which are the ones that we see here, right? And here we go. We have subtitle and title. So for this, what we're going to do is set an initial value. Initial value means that it will fill out that area of text. This can also be implemented when we want to give the shopper a suggestion on what they could enter. But in this case, we're just going to use it as the value that will always be there. And we're also going to hide it. We'll do the same thing for the title. So here, our first Christmas, there we go, and hide option. Okay, great. Now let's see what happens when we do this. There we go. Now the area for the title and the subtitle are fixed. And the shopper will be able to upload their photos, enter their names, and here, what we were seeing before, also pick a date from the calendar. So this would be pretty much it as far as creating our product. The only thing that we may want to do here is make sure that we save this as our product image so that it stores this example as a thumbnail, and so that we can use this to generate our product imagery. And the other thing that I want to do is edit the product details so that I name this our first Christmas acrylic block. There we go. Here we can also change the description if we want. And I'm going to refer back to the listing here to set the price. So for example, here we have a suggested sales price, which is $49.99. And we're going to assign a price here. So in this case, we're going to make it $59.99 since it's a personalized block. There we go. Save product. Excellent. And final step for this, just because we want to make sure that we can generate our imagery here. Wait, let me see here. Just want to make sure that the sample image was generated. Perfect. Excellent. Now let's go to generate mockups. Now, with this AI feature that we have from Nano Banana, we can generate more imagery for our listing so that they don't just see this frontal view of the acrylic. They can see different settings for the mockup, like we were seeing here on this listing on Shopify, right? So setting those different images for the listing. And we'll pick a scene. And here I also want to make sure that it knows that it's transparent. So make sure that the acrylic block is see-through. There we go. Let's click on generate. This is something that we can play around with and see which are the images that we like best. And basically when we save those will be, let me see here, transparent. Let's make it. I want to make sure that it picks up on that information. Okay, I'm going to try once more because I don't think that is clear enough. There we go. I like this one better. So we'll go ahead and save. We can do this as many times as you like, generate as many images as we like, and then we go ahead and publish the product. And this will create the new listing on the store with all the personalization features available to the shopper. So I don't know if any questions have popped up in the chat.
There's no questions in the chat, but guys, remember that you can ask any kind of doubts that you have, anything that you need to go over. Feel free to just hit us up on the chat.
All right. So let's see here. There we go. Perfect. And now we can view the listing on the store. As we see, it has stored our new mockup and we have all of the features for personalization. There we go. So that's pretty much it. All right. So we've seen how we can import a design from Canva and make all these changes to the design. But let's see how we can do something a little bit simpler without that much work so that you can see Customly Designs for this season. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing screen. There we go. So that Tina can take it from here.
Awesome. Let me share my screen. Great. So let me know if everything's okay. Awesome. So if you're trying to get your ShineOn products published in a little less time, you don't have the Canva design ready, you don't want to, you're low on inspiration, blah, blah, blah. You can always use the customly pre-made designs that are available and free for all of the Customly subscribers. So today we're going to be using this particular design, which is similar to the one that Lucy showed from Canva. And we're going to be creating it with the ShineOn acrylic block. So let's head over to Customly. So this is the home page, and we're going to do very similar steps, but a lot fewer steps than Lucy showed us previously. So we're going to click on ShineOn. And here we have the entire catalog that's synchronized with Customly. And we're going to search for the acrylic block right here. We are going to select the 7 by 5¼ variant, and we're going to click on Add a Design. So here, instead of picking from your own designs, we're going to be picking from the Customly Pre-Made Designs. We're going to go to the Calendar category. You can choose any of these designs. Today, we're going to be using this one. Welcome to the family, Apply Design. And now we're going to make sure that it adjusts perfectly. So here you can make it smaller, bigger, whatever you like to make sure that it adjusts to the print area of this specific product. So I'm going to confirm. And like Lucy showed before, here we can select which store we're going to be publishing on. We're going to go ahead and publish on the Shopify store. And here we're basically integrating all of the settings for this design. So all of the personalization options that this design already has built into it with the integration for this ShineOn product along with your account integration as well. So we're blending everything up to make sure that the integration works perfectly. And now we can see a preview of what this live personalization is going to look like so that we can create our thumbnail. So here, this design has a few options for the title. As we can see here, welcome to the world, welcome to the family, and the first day you became a mom. You can choose different kinds of colors for the title. You can put different names here. Everything that you see here are options that your shopper is going to be able to select as well on the store. The shopper will be able to also select different colors for these. I'm going to go with all black for these. Here we can select the shape for the image. I'm going to upload one so that we can see it more clearly. Remember, this is just a sample image that you can upload to create your thumbnail. So these are different masks that get applied to the image. And here, once you select a date, you'll be able to see a calendar just like we saw before. Okay, so once I have that set up, I'm going to click on Save This as Product Image. And once I have that ready, I can go ahead and generate the mockups. Just like we did before, I'm going to type in, just like Lucy did, the acrylic block is of a transparent material, just so we can make sure that it has that information when generating the mockup. And now we let it do its magic. Sometimes it fully understands in the first try what the product is supposed to look like. And sometimes it needs a little bit more of tweaking, either because it may have the perspective wrong or other things. So I think that looks great. Gonna click on Save. And that's about it. Here you can do the same thing that Lucy did. You can edit the price, $59.99, and the title, Welcome to the Family Acrylic Block. And once you're done with that, I think we could just go ahead and publish. I'm not sure if the thumbnail ended up getting saved there, but we'll check now on the storefront. But yeah, once that is done getting set up, you have your mock-up, you have all these different customization options for your product. Yeah, it got saved correctly. Awesome. And everything seems to be working correctly on the store. And just like that, with a few clicks and using the pre-made designs, you can have your ShineOn product up and running in literally, what was it, 5 minutes? Less than 5 minutes probably. It's super quick, guys, and gorgeous results.